everywhere you go. Have you seen Sean Strickland at all this week?
No. Some boys said they see him like running away from hotel fast after the media. The guy who said like he gonna shoot me, he gonna do this, that, and I don't know why he's still at the other hotels. And he was thinking like, no one gonna control me. And the guy is not here. We control this guy.
Do you feel, what made you post the sparring footage yesterday, by the way? Why did you post that?
No, just I find old videos, some stuff, just post that. Because he's saying like, I spar only weak people, And on the video, we spar easy, like just touch sparring. It's not like 100% like usually I do, because he said he doesn't want to spar hard. And when I started to hit hard, he was coaching like, Coach Eric, this guy is starting to punch hard. Like he had some problems with his coach Eric too, because I punched him hard. And he was always calling him like, can you stop this guy?
Round, third, fourth, fifth round is going to be fucking miserable for Khamzat Chimaev. Now, with all that being said, for Khamzat Chimaev taking on Sean Strickland, I'm going to have to go with Khamzat Chimaev. I think Khamzat Chimaev has just shown more in his fighting style. I mean, what he did to DDP, what he's been able to do to Kamaru Usman. He has a certain way that he goes about his fights, which is he goes out there and he takes everybody down. Sean Strickland has never been manhandled or out-grappled, and I think Khamzat Chimaev can do it, but he's got to manage the gas tank. I've seen him train before, and sometimes it's good to train as hard as you can. It's so good to train hard. But sometimes when you train that hard, when it comes to fight time, he might be overtrained. But I am going to predict a finish for Khamzat Chimaev, and he's going to be dominant, beating Sean Strickland.
It's hard to say. Like, I definitely think he has an argument now, especially because he's beaten Chimaev and because of the way he put away Fluffy. But honestly, it's anybody's guess. It's anybody's guess. The title fights and like contenders and that whole conversation is just so, random sometimes.
I mean, I know you've been in there with Khamzat, man, and Sean Strickland's taking defense is pretty good, but we haven't seen him in there against. Like, would you say Fluffy and Khamzat, it's two different levels when it comes to the grappling, would you say, like in terms of the way, the strength and yeah.
Absolutely night and day. Like having been in there with Chimaev and seen, and everyone who saw what he did to Dricus, like it's not the same. It is not the same.
And do you believe he would have much of a shot against Khamzat after this performance?
Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland is one of those fights where no one really agrees on how it will play out. Some are looking at the wrestling and saying it's clear. Others think Strickland can drag it into a different kind of fight. The takes are all over the place, and that's what makes this interesting. So here are the final predictions from the fight world, and where they think this fight could turn.
Australia. Anyway, I was with Robert Whittaker, and I asked him, I said, what's the deal with Khamzat, man? How strong does he feel? He said, well, number one, his shot is so fast, you just don't see it coming. Khamzat, as we know, he does shoot a double leg from quite far away, covers a lot of ground, gets a hold of the legs, and then, of course, he's got tremendous technique and he gets on top of you. And as we know with Robert Whittaker, he got the face cranked and smashed all of his teeth in. He said, listen, that was an existing problem. I got into an accident when I was younger, so they were always kind of unstable and a little bit loose. But come on, let's be honest, you got to give it to Khamzat. He crushed the man's teeth in. So, of course, he's strong. But Whittaker does believe that Sean Strickland has a chance in this fight.
He raises that knee and then jabs you at the same time. His knee might be a deterrent for Chimaev shooting in freely. If Chimaev times it wrong, he's going to go straight into a knee. And no matter who you are, that's going to hurt.
And I do as well. If he can survive the first round or two, and it's such a cliched expression, but if Sean can survive the first round or two, never mind any of the emotions, or if he goes out there and doesn't fight an emotion, Strickland's always emotional. Khamzat's always emotional. And Khamzat's had some...
The security makes sense. A lot of intensity.
No, it doesn't make sense. You let a Neanderthal in this country who can't keep his
together for 5 days. And the worst part about it is you're not even being a man and saying, hey, I'm going to fight you in the parking lot. You're saying my friends are going to fight you. So security's here, dude, because like you are the scum of the earth. That's your answer.
Yeah. It has to make you feel like the president.
No, it just makes you, it reminds me that I'm fighting a man that has zero dignity. I would if you were like, hey, I want to go fight you in the parking lot, yeah, we could.
When breaking down Sean's strengths, Demetrius Johnson gave him huge respect for his jab and takedown defense. He even said Sean might have the best jab in the entire UFC. What amazed DJ most was how Sean stays upright like a telephone pole, yet still manages to stop takedowns consistently. But once he started talking about Khamzat, you could tell why he leaned toward him in this matchup. DJ explained that Khamzat can strike well, but his real danger comes from the way he relentlessly shoots takedowns and overwhelms people with grappling pressure. He brought up the damage Khamzat did to Robert Whittaker and pointed out how brutal Khamzat can be once he gets hold of opponents.
Sean Strickland has a style where he gets in his Philly shell style, he walks forward, he throws he has a beautiful jab. He probably has the best jab in all of, the UFC, right? And the thing that Sean Strickland does have is he does have great takedown defense, which is kind of crazy because he stands right up like a fucking Christmas tree, which, typically you want to be down a little bit, have a little bit lower center of gravity, but like I said, he stands up like a telephone pole. And then when you look at Khamzat Chimaev can box. He has knockouts, he's got great kicks, he's got great boxing, but he tends to go out there and shoot his takedown from 16 miles away, but he's able to land it and out-grapple people. And he's very good about finishing people too. You look what he did to Robert Whittaker. He broke his teeth.
In the end, DJ officially picked Khamzat to beat Sean. He admitted Sean has never really been dominated or ragdolled in the grappling department before, but he believes Khamzat might finally be the fighter capable of doing it. DJ said Khamzat has simply shown more dangerous tools overall throughout his career, especially with the way he overwhelms elite fighters early. At the same time, he still warned that bad cardio management could make the later rounds miserable for Khamzat if Sean survives the early storm. But despite that concern, DJ still leaned toward a dominant Khamzat performance and ultimately predicted Khamzat would get the finish.
Third, fourth, fifth round is going to be fucking miserable for Khamzat Chimaev. Now, with all that being said, for Khamzat Chimaev taking on Sean Strickland, I'm going to have to go with Khamzat Chimaev. I think Khamzat Chimaev has just shown more in his fighting style. I mean, what he did to DDP, what he's been able to do to Kamaru Usman. He has a certain way that he goes about his fights, which is he goes out there and he takes everybody down. Sean Strickland has never been manhandled or out-grappled, and I think Khamzat Chimaev can do it, but he's got to manage the gas tank. I've seen him train before, and sometimes it's good to train as hard as you can. It's so good to train hard, but sometimes when you train that hard, when it comes to fight time, he might be overtrained. But I am going to predict a finish for Khamzat Chimaev, and he's going to be dominant, beating Sean Strickland.
When breaking down Khamzat's actual fighting style, Michael Bisping praised Khamzat's wrestling, power, and the improvements in his cardio after going 5 rounds with Dricus du Plessis. But Bisping also added an important point. Wrestling heavy fights drain energy differently than standing and striking for 25 minutes with someone like Sean. That is where he believes Sean's chances begin. Bisping explained that Sean is extremely confident in his takedown defense and believes he can either stop the shots or quickly get back to his feet. According to Bisping, those constant scrambles and grinding exchanges could become exhausting for Khamzat if the fight drags deeper into the later rounds.
Now we know Khamzat is a force of nature. The wrestling is ridiculous. The power in the hands is phenomenal. The gas tank seems to have been solved, okay? Against Dricus, he went 5 rounds. However, caveat, he took down Dricus and he led on top of Dricus. I'm not saying he led on top of him just stalling. He was trying to finish. He was looking for submissions. He was putting him in a crucifix and trying to drop little elbows, and Dricus was burying his head and stuff like that. That kind of pace, though, where you're stifling someone on top, is not the same as being on the feet and engaging in a war 4 or 5 rounds. They're two very, very different things. And Sean Strickland, if he has the ability to stop the takedowns, which, by the way, he is very confident that he will, right? He thinks he can stop the takedowns. He thinks if he does get taken down, he will get back to his feet. He thinks he can even scramble on top.
But I think a part of him knows if we do wrestle, I'm just going to counter wrestle. I'll get up, I'll get on top.
Next, Bisping talked in detail about the aspect that he considers as the major weakness of Khamzat, and that is managing his cardio in difficult conditions. As per him, Khamzat had shown signs of exhaustion while fighting with Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns after a powerful start. He further added that if Sean manages to withstand Khamzat's initial attack and makes him exchange punches with him throughout, then it might become very risky for Chimaev afterwards. Nonetheless, it must be mentioned that he also admitted that the cardio of Khamzat has improved a lot lately due to the reduction in his weight and some other modifications in his training regimen.
That's gonna hurt.
And I do as well. If he can survive the first round or two, and it's such a cliched expression, but if Sean can survive the first round or two, never mind any of the emotions, or if he goes out there and doesn't fight an emotion, Strickland's always emotional. Khamzat's always emotional, and Khamzat's had some devastating performances, whether it was knocking out people with one shot, whether it was picking up Li Jingliang and having a conversation with Dana White saying, I'm going to kill everybody, or whatever it was.
I'm coming for everybody, kill everybody.
Or fighting Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns and slowing down dramatically, right? They weren't phenomenal performances, but the other ones were. But that did show a weakness, a perceived weakness. Now, granted, Dricus du Plessis, he kind of had the same issue as well, didn't he? Remember? But then he went out there and he got a nose job. And then all of a sudden, the man's killing 5 rounds. Now, remember, another fact is that Khamzat Chimaev, up until quite recently, was 240 pounds. Now, we see videos of him all over. He's done his training camp in Newport Beach, California at the Santos Studios. He's training with Sam Calavita, a very unorthodox strength and
Even while praising Khamzat, Belal Muhammad still pointed out one important thing he needs to avoid. He warned Khamzat not to completely empty his gas tank, chasing an early finish because emotions are going to be running high in this fight. Belal expects Khamzat to come in angry and hunting for the kill, especially with all the bad blood between them, but he stressed that Khamzat needs patience too. According to Belal, if Sean survives the first round, Khamzat has to stay disciplined enough to keep wrestling and breaking him down round after round instead of wasting energy trying to force one huge moment immediately. He openly admitted he did not even want to give Sean the keys to victory because he dislikes him so much. Still, he briefly mentioned that Sean's jab and teep kicks are probably his best tools, along with avoiding getting trapped against the fence. But immediately after saying that, Belal went right back to mocking him, saying he hopes Sean allows himself to get pushed to the cage, taken down, and submitted quickly. He finished by officially picking Khamzat for a dominant performance and told him not to let everyone down. Their own banter has not stopped yet, and it seems like it will only end once they are in the ring. Right from the beginning, Chimaev was quick to go on the attack against Sean Strickland, challenging his toughness and courage. When asked if he had noticed Sean anywhere in the hotel, he mocked him by suggesting that people have told him that he has run away because of the media commitments he had made. Then Chimaev began throwing shade and reminding everyone about all the crazy things that Strickland had been saying before, such as threats against him. It is worth noting how Chimaev was able to highlight the presence of security around him because he could not find Strickland. After that, Khamzat took the discussion back to the old video of the two of them sparring, and that is when it all became very personal. He explained that the reason he uploaded the video was that Sean always acts as if he only ever sparred with weaker opponents. From Khamzat's perspective, the video shows how they were only messing around and not actually sparring properly. Then he went ahead to reveal the details from these sparring sessions, stating that Sean kept on complaining to their coach Eric since Khamzat was punching him too hard. In addition, he accused Sean of always lying about everything that happened in the gym. Khamzat made sure to double down on this by advising the media to talk to the people who were there, and they will vouch for him. Even while talking about the title fight, Khamzat kept downplaying Sean whenever he got the chance. He brushed off Sean's trash talk completely, calling him a clown and saying he honestly does not care who is standing across from him. Then he went even further by saying Sean is not even a big thing for him anymore. Khamzat explained that he has already beaten elite fighters, and since Dricus du Plessis has defeated Sean twice, beating Strickland now would not really prove much. That was probably one of the biggest disrespectful moments from the interview because he basically treated Sean like an old name that no longer matters. Instead, Khamzat said he wants huge fights, mentioning names like Alex Pereira and even heavyweight matchups. Sean Strickland came out aggressive right away when talking about Khamzat Chimaev, and the first thing he focused on was all the extra security around fight week. Sean clearly blamed Khamzat for the entire situation, calling him a Neanderthal who cannot control himself for even 5 days. But what really stood out was Sean accusing Khamzat of hiding behind his friends instead of acting like a man one-on-one. According to Sean, Khamzat talks about violence but never actually wants to settle things himself. Sean even said that if Khamzat wanted to fight him somewhere outside the cage, he would do it. Sean then explained why the personal side of this rivalry motivates him so much. He admitted that fighting somebody you genuinely dislike makes things easier because there is real emotion behind every punch. Then the trash talk turned even harsher when he started speaking about Khamzat's fighting style. Sean said if nobody in the division can stop Khamzat's wrestling, then fans might as well delete the UFC. He mocked Khamzat by calling him a guy who just dry humps everybody for entire fights. Sean also insulted his personality, saying nobody wants an unlikable dog as champion. Ultimately, this fight is likely going to be all about who can impose their will and maintain it through the course of the fight. Should Khamzat successfully land his quick takedowns and control the rhythm of the match, he should be able to dominate very early on. However, if Strickland manages to stay tough and wear down his opponent, this bout might end up becoming a real nightmare for Khamzat. That is what makes this match so hard to predict. Who do you think is going to win this fight?